What up, everybody? Me, Chris, here to give my UFC 97 Afterthoughts real quick. Let's see. Where should we start? I guess I'll start from the bottom of the card or where it started on TV. First fight we had was Lewis Kane, or Kane, I don't know how you pronounce it at this point, against Steve Cantwell. Pretty good fight. I actually thought that it would be a little bit more exciting because I knew both guys just like to stand up and trade for the most part, but it seemed like they kind of traded rounds. Kane came out first. Kind of dominated more the first because with the harder punches, you know what I'm saying, was more aggressive. Pushed the fight more. His punches seemed to have more on him than Cantwell did, although Cantwell was throwing that high kick a lot to Kane's head, but never really caught him too flush with it. But, yeah, Kane definitely got the first round. Second round, Kane came out a little bit tired, so Cantwell ended up controlling most of that round. He actually was the fighter coming forward. Threw a lot more high kicks, just mixed in his punches and kicks well. Kane just looked tired in the second round, you know, but I actually thought he might have gassed out. But come third round, he got his second wind, pushed forward again. Once again was landing the harder shots. Landed a few really good punches on Cantwell in the third round. I actually thought he hurt him a couple times, but credit to Steve Cantwell, he hung in there. Fought back, didn't really throw too much in the third round, Cantwell, though. It seems like if he would have been a little more busier, he might have had a better chance. But like I said, they kind of just traded rounds, and in that case, Cantwell won the fight because he won 2 of the 3 rounds. So pretty good performance, you know. There's a lot of great guys at 205 light heavyweight. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing both these guys fight next time because they both got exciting styles and there's a lot of good matchups out there for them to be made. So, yeah. Next up, we had a Czech Congo against Anthony Hardonk. This fight, it was all right. You know, I was hoping it'd be a little bit more stand-up. It was a little bit in the first, but even then, it wasn't that exciting. Hardonk just was looking to throw that leg kick. He kept holding down his hands like he was going to throw them, but he never really threw any punches, you know. And he did land that low kick a couple times, but didn't seem to affect Chuck Congo too much. First round, nothing too special, you know, kind of just both were trying to just find a rhythm, you know what I'm saying. Second round, Congo did the smart thing, took him down, dominated him. Hardonk has really no ground game at all, and it showed. Congo, once he started dropping those elbows, forearms, it was all over. He really hurt Anthony Hardonk with those. You know, he's got some sharp. He's a big guy, Congo, coming dropping arms and forearms on you and elbows. It's gonna hurt anybody. And he pretty much just smashed Hardonk out. Hit him with something really solid, I guess. Hardonk, you could tell he was really bothered. Kind of turned to the side from that. It was getting to the end, and the ref stopped it. Don't know where Congo goes next. Maybe a fight against, for people mentioned, possibly Shane Carwin. You know, winner gets a title shot. I could see that happening, you know, like a title eliminator fight. I don't think I'd pick Congo. Well, you know what? Maybe I would. Carwin definitely had the ground game, but if Congo could keep it standing, I think he'd have the advantage. But until it's made, there's no point in discussing it. Next up, we had, was Brian Stan? Krzysztof Szczecinski, I believe, was next. You know, Brian Stan just, unfortunately, he's in the UFC by default of the WC folding. But I just don't think he's ready for the UFC yet. He just doesn't have, his game's not well-rounded enough, and it showed. Szczecinski got him to the ground, and when he did, he pretty much controlled position. Went for the Kimura, didn't get it. Repositioned himself, and got it pretty easily, to be honest. Like I said, Stan's just pretty much a one-dimensional fighter at this point. He doesn't have a lot of fights, you know, it's not nothing against him. You know, he's just put on this big stage because the WEC abolished their light heavyweight division, but, you know, I don't see Stan having too much success. He kind of needs to fight in the lower leagues or whatever. And, you know, diverse his game more before he's ready for the UFC, in my opinion. Good win for Szczecinski. Once again, like I said, there's a lot of light heavyweights out there, so, you know, you can match him up with a lot of different guys out there. Maybe Steve Cantwell, who knows? Just, you know, a guy that's on the same card. Either way, good performance by Szczecinski. Got submission of the night, so I'm sure he's happy with that. Next up, Chuck Liddell versus Mauricio Shogun Rua. Must admit, I was way off on this one. I really thought that the style matchup favored Chuck Liddell. I didn't think Shogun would be able to get him down, and I thought Chuck Liddell was the better fighter. And you know, Shogun just hasn't looked himself. Granted, Chuck hasn't looked so good his last few fights, but Shogun really looked bad in both the Force and especially the Coleman fight, which was, you know, his most recent fight, and it wasn't even that long ago. So I went with Chuck Liddell. Unfortunately, I was wrong on my prediction, but you know what? I don't really feel too bad. I'm kind of glad Shogun won, to be honest. But anyways, let's talk about the fight real quick. Shogun came out, looked great. He looked in better condition than he has been. His technique didn't look sloppy. He looked really sharp. look back to his the form he was in Pride when he was dominating there. Mixed in some kicks. Was throwing that big overhand right that Chuck seems to get caught with, that he was caught with by Rashad Evans, and was landing it, and Jardine hit Chuck with that quite a few times as well. Shogun was landing it quite a few times, on the top of Chuck's head, and it just seemed like almost, I don't know, it just seemed like Chuck is a step slower, obviously, but it just seemed like it was a matter of time as often as Shogun seemed to be landing that when he was just winging that punch out there. Chuck just never really seemed to get in a rhythm. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's, just the amount of, your body wearing down after fights, training camps, whatnot. But Shogun pretty much dominated this fight, to be honest. He did get a takedown. Very good takedown. The way he went for it. Kind of caught Chuck at his waist and took him down. A very good technique. I don't think I don't recall seeing Chuck getting taken down that way or Shogun doing takedowns like that before, but it was very effective. Tried to get a submission, couldn't get it, but, he wrapped up Chuck well and held him against the fence till the end of the first round. But Shogun looked really good in the first. I was really impressed. Come second round, I believe it went to the second round. Man, I'm confused. Anyways, no, actually, thinking it ended in the first. Yeah, it did. Anyways, they were separated, and right before the end of the first, I believe, Shogun caught Chuck with a left from really far out, which was surprising because it was the right that he had been landing on Chuck, so I guess he surprised him with the left. Similar to the punch that, or it was somewhat resembled, what Rampage dropped Chuck with in their second fight. And after that, Chuck went down. It looked like he was already kind of out of it. Shogun jumped on him. A few hammer fists. Fight's over. Shogun looked great. Chuck looked bad. It's really hard to see Chuck getting any more wins against any more significant names at this point. He just really appears to be telling his career. It'll be interesting to see if Dana sticks with his word of saying this is Chuck's last fight in the UFC. I doubt he will, but if not, it'll be interesting to see who they match Chuck up with next. As for Shogun, really impressive victory. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come for him. And, like I said already numerous times, light heavyweight division stacked, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in there with someone next. Next we had Matt Wyman, Sam Stout, the one undercard bout we got to see. Good fight, good back and forth. Wyman won the first round, I believe. Stout definitely had the second, hurt Wyman with the body shot. It looked like it might have been over, but Wyman, showed some heart. He hung in there. Third round was back and forth, but I thought Wyman controlled more of it with the takedown, a little bit of ground control. I thought he just controlled more of the round. I actually thought Wyman won the fight. But the decision was unanimous for Sam Stout. I was quite surprised, except for the fact that they were in Canada and Stout's from Canada. But I think Wyman should have deserved the decision. And not really much else to say about it. Maybe they should have a rematch, settle things. Hopefully there'll be fair judges. And, I wouldn't mind seeing the fight again. It was definitely exciting. I believe it was a rewarded fight of the night, and rightfully so. Good performance by both. It's just unfortunate that Wyman didn't get the decision that I feel he deserved. On to the main event. Anderson Silva against Thales Leites. Was off on this one as well. I thought Anderson was going to come out, look to make a statement after the disappointing performance in the Cote fight. And really just, try to get Leites out early. Unfortunately, Anderson's performance was a bit similar to the Cote fight. Just, that wasn't all his fault. Leites wasn't looking to engage. Leites did try to get him down a few times in the first round. Definitely early, tried more with takedown techniques rather than falling back in the guard as he did later in the fight. But he just really didn't have much success. He even did have Anderson down a couple times, just really couldn't capitalize on it. Anderson was quick to get up. Anderson didn't want to really go into the guard whenever Thales Leites would fall into the guard. But standing up, Anderson just didn't dominate the way I thought he would. It was obvious he was the better fighter on the feet, but he just wasn't as aggressive as I thought he would be. He did pick Leites apart over the entire 5 rounds, and Anderson was impressive in that he took hardly any damage at all, For a 5-round championship fight, he took probably the least damage I've seen in a 5-round fight by any fighter. But, it was just a disappointing performance. There were a couple times where Anderson in the, I believe, 3rd, 4th rounds, maybe in the 5th, had Leites up against the cage, and it looked like he started throwing, combinations, kind of teeing off on him, looked like he could have finished him off. Leites was just covering up, and then Anderson was kind of step back. He wouldn't really do much, Not really sure why that is, but, I can't really, call. I can't criticize Anderson too much because he got the win. It was very one-sided, but it just wasn't as impressive performance as I was expecting. What else did I want to say about this fight? There was something else I want to say. I can't recall off the top of my head, but, I don't know. Thales Leites, I don't know where he goes from here, but he just didn't give the The last 3 rounds, he just really didn't, put on a very good performance himself. But, I think he knew he was outgunned. What are you going to do? He's not really going to trade it out on the feet with Anderson Silva, because if he does, he's going to lose, So, who knows where he goes from here. Anderson, I don't know. I still want to see the Okami fight if Okami gets by Jim Miller. If not, maybe Anderson will go back up to 205, fight someone there. Hopefully he'll look better his next performance and next time out. I don't think he could look any worse unless he lost, to be honest. But I don't know. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm out of here. Until next time, bye.